Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, good to be here.
Yo, what's up?
Wyatt, you do anything this weekend?
Yeah, kicking it with you at Cherokee Open, dude.
Yeah.
Be flying out to North Carolina, and I hope we don't get snowed in on the highway.
It was 70. Wait, it's 64 right now.
Huh?
My.
That's a downward trend.
This is the warmest. These past 2 days has been the warmest it's been in centuries. I mean, I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So this is totally our normal Thursday night. We're totally not pre-recording because we would never, well, mostly never leave you guys without a dope beat to step to. But I think we are the week after, so I'll take that back. I immediately regret. My previous.
I was waiting for you.
I was like, wait a minute. Then we're not podcasting the week after. Oh shit!
Which is why we scrambled to pre-record this. So no after hours content, but to our patrons out there, we do have a before the after hours exclusive, still in the market, and as Rob mentioned, no podcast next week because I'll be gone.
Rude. And then a couple weeks till Adepticon. I'm stoked.
Yeah. So Long War's double this weekend. Long War doubles at Adepticon. New broken Eldar models like super OP Wraithknights.
If everything's super, no one is.
Yeah. That's why I'm hoping it's OP. I'm not sure if it is OP though. We'll find out. We'll get to the bottom of that.
Well, we get a closer look at the codex this weekend, I'm sure.
Yep. Luckily, we have some like totally blurry pictures and shit like that we got to do some forensics on.
Can we call them purposefully blurry?
Yeah, like somebody fucking hit the blur filter in Photoshop for sure.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Ridiculous. Preposterous.
I'm like, why are these images perfectly blurred? Completely uniformly, purposely blurred over the whole image.
Because they get off on withholding the information. They're the information lord.
Oh, wow.
Yep. But we were able to do some reverse engineering and we got kind of, I think, enough of the information we needed out of it to talk about the big badass, which was a plague back in 6th edition. The Wraithknights.
Yeah, it was.
They were... And I'd love to see that big ass model come back in some capacity.
We haven't seen a Wraith Lord in forever.
No.
Wraithknight, excuse me.
Yeah, or either.
Well, yeah, good point.
I mean, either. So I think it's going to be fun to talk about that baller ass model here in the meat and potato section of our podcast. But let's just get right into it with a Wyatt's classic Would You Rather.
Yep. Would you rather have to sing every time you tried to speak, or anytime you stood up, walked around, jog, run, whatever, you have to dance as you're doing it?
Nice. That's a fun one.
Do you have to are you automatically able to sing a tune? Cause I don't think I could sing.
No.
So you'll just sound terrible.
Yeah. You just have to talk, sing songy.
You're right. Definitely at the quality level you currently sing at, but I would imagine you would get better at it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you sing all the time, probably.
Yeah. I mean, she'd take a couple of voice lessons. I mean, you're like, if my life is singing now,
would that be exploitive for the genie?
No.
Pee hole spiders?
No, just gotta be singing every time you talk.
Not be that bad then, I suppose.
I think I'd dance walk everywhere. Like a dance walk into Long John Silver's.
Dance walk while you're pooping.
Yep, that's what
the Long John Silver's out.
Dance, shit my pants, walk out.
Gross.
Yeah, they can get behind dance walking everywhere. He'll definitely get more in shape, I think, you know?
You would definitely get more in shape.
Yeah. Like, I definitely would go hard on it. Like, too. Like, like sometimes I'd be lazy. You know, like, I wake up, dance walk, take a piss. There'd be some weak dance walking. You know what I mean? But then I'm like, we gotta, you know, walk to, like, the end of the block to, you know, let my dog pee. I'll definitely go hard as fuck. I think I would, like, watch a lot of TikTok videos, figure out what the new dance moves are.
You'd have to stay pretty up to date on that. Whereas if you just didn't feel like talking, no penalty.
Yeah. For sure. But if I didn't feel like walking anywhere too, like I just sit in this chair a lot.
I suppose
what
that's
about
true.
What about playing 40K? You just have to be like standing at the table, just dancing the entire time.
Just dancing.
You gotta work some flair into your dice rolls.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is like I think I would make it really cool. You know, like
you're mixing a drink.
Yeah.
Like throw it over your shoulder and shit.
Make a little beat as you shake your dice like a maraca.
Yep. I'd utilize some OG Elvis Presley dance moves. If you notice,
you can bring him back.
He looks like he's jerking off like 30 invisible ghosts. Just go back and watch some of his sick dance moves. I would definitely channel that.
I feel like some of the best dancers, you could 100% make that argument. Like, what is he doing? Does anybody know? No.
Yeah, I know exactly what he's doing. Yeah, I actually would. I think I'd do that. Like, I mean, I wouldn't even be that disappointed. I'd get in shape, get better cardio. You know. So it's dance. It's when I'm standing or walking or running, basically.
Yeah, anytime you're not sitting or laying down.
Wow.
So I can do like push-ups. Still have to dance when I do push-ups.
Yeah.
I mean, I get jacked. I can turn that into a workout. You know what I'm saying? My push-up dance workout.
Oh, you could be all the rage.
Oh,
like turn it into like Taibo, but
Ken Kwando.
That's a good start. We might need to work on it a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would pick. How about you, Rob? What are you doing?
I think I'm just going to sing. I mean, I'll suck at first, but, you know.
I mean, you probably do that without even realizing it right now. You're like, typing this stupid article, fucking hate everything, gonna go drink some fucking booze because I'm a drunk.
I don't know all of those statements or any of those statements are even true, to be honest, but sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I like it because those are things that people kind of do.
Problem.
Yeah.
Rob, are you going to be able to hold it together for our drive to Cherokee?
What? Yeah, I'm going to. I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's across all.
It's going to be an itchy fucking couple of hours. That's for damn sure.
Dude. We're going to have to get like some.
When did I become an alcoholic?
I don't know.
Concerned now.
1972.
I have been called basic bitch recently because of my choice in booze, but I didn't realize it had spiraled so negatively.
Yeah, you're the Starbucks cup of booze, just Jack and Cokes. I mean, honestly, you're the Jack and
What
Coke.
is it they do on Always Sunny? They're like drinking out of Pepsi cans, but it's wine in there. It's like you can't even tell I'm totally drinking right now.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I don't do that. I really day drink, to be honest.
Okay, man. I'm not judging you.
Day drinking is an art, man. You go too hard, you get that like headache hangover.
Gotta have a nap all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Not that I don't normally take those, but
Yep. So when I used to pour concrete, we'd go out. Like I used to contract for this one guy. We'd go out for lunch or somewhere, and I'd always order beer, and like dude would always be irritated with me. Never stopped me from fucking doing my job.
Yeah, if it affects my performance.
Definitely did a lot of sweating. Then I'd get home, take a shower, drink a cold Steel Reserve, hot shower. One of the most enchanting moments of my day.
We look back and you're like, where did it all go wrong?
Sometimes fall asleep in the shower with the beer can in my hand.
That's pretty dope.
All right, do some news.
Do some news, monkey. Oh man, what a crazy week. All right, so first up, let's talk about some new GW prices. So all the new Eldar stuff is going on pre-order this weekend for delivery on March 5th, but it looks like they kind of jumped the gun and raised the prices on all the stuff because none of it makes sense in the old pricing scheme. So Dark Reapers are $60. The new Guardians box is $55. The Warlocks box is $55. That's only 2 models. Margon Ross, $45. Not really sure. I don't see anything different for the model. It just looks like he's on a 40 mil base. Like I think Jansar was too. I'd have to go back and look, but
I mean, characters are always more expensive because people only need one of them.
That's true. They are. Like I think I want to say Janzar and Drazar were 40, and I want to say Aramon was 40, but generally they're right around the 40 mark. So I guess with the price increases, the $40 stuff went to 42. So I generally don't understand the 45, but it's $3, so I'm not going to bitch about it. The Eldar Codex is 55, so that reflects the price increase. The data cards are 29, which reflects the price increase. The Eldari dice are 38, which reflects the price increase. So looks like it kind of pre-taxed the Eldar stuff there. Of course, there's more models. There's probably going to be Wave 2. Not sure if it's going to be next week or next month.
How much is the Avatar?
We don't know yet. But if I had to guess, I would say between 115 and 130.
Oh, they're hyping this up and it's not even going to be part of Wave 1?
Nope.
Wow.
Still got Shining Spears. Still got the stuff from Eldritch Omens.
Man, I think people are going to be the most upset at that like the only thing they want is the new Avatar.
Dude, I want an Avatar, and I only have 3. I'm about to have 4 Eldar models. That thing looks dope.
It's really cool.
Yeah, but it is going to be a little bit more expensive, but that's pretty much everything these days, I suppose. So there's that. The price increases, like I said, go into effect. I believe it is Monday, March 7th, which I guess is only a couple days after this stuff actually hits the streets. So maybe that was their rationale for it. I don't know. A little bit of good news on the Horse Heresy front. The 2 new characters that came out last week, they were actually had caps of 2 per store. And then GW called everybody that I guess they thought would buy some on Monday and was like, yo, we found some. We all know. We've all talked about that before. So they didn't sell well online, I suppose. And a lot of stores are actually able to scoop some up and pick them up. So you might actually see those in stores this weekend if you missed out last weekend. So it's $32 for both of the models each. They look pretty dope. I don't know on the size because I wasn't able to get one because they're allocated to a store. But I'm hoping they're kind of somewhere in between a Firstborn and a Primaris. Don't know yet, but that's my thinking. As far as that goes. Some other stuff to talk about. Kromlech came out with new weathering powders for $5.79 each, which doesn't seem too awfully bad.
Pretty cool.
They look like they're true weathering. There's like a Vendergris and a soot and like a darker color. So if you're only going to pick up 3, those might be the 3 to do. They have a couple of videos about it. Monument Hobbies launched their Pro Acrylic Expansion 4 for $42.75. It's 12 new colors. And I'll read the list if you're wondering. I have it here in one of these windows. It is a yellow green, a faded green, a bright jade, a dark flesh, a burgundy, plum pink, warm yellow, warm flesh, khaki, warm gray, and neutral gray. So a lot of pretty useful colors, to be quite honest. I'm looking at it here. I think the warm yellow, I think, would probably be something I'd use the most. Maybe the dark flesh too.
It's funny because first off, I always enjoy the naming convention where with few exceptions, it's just like the description of the color is the name of the paint. Like dark blue. Blue. Sky blue being the exception. They could have said light blue, but he said sky blue because you kind of know what that looks like. Then he's got black blue in the same line, right? Like, so you have 2 versions of a blue that's dark, but he's telling you why it's dark because it was black in it, right? So I love the naming convention as they moved on through expansions, but I love it because like no paint they've come up with past expansion 1 is a different paint that they already make. It's just different combinations of those paints pre-mixed for you because a lot of people wanted that, right? And I always thought it was so tight that he came out with this like perfect paint set that I can just do anything I want with, and especially with like the naming convention. But people they like, for example, he has dark neutral gray and bright neutral gray. Now there's neutral gray, and I'm just like, guys. You know what I mean?
And some people just don't think the way you think.
No, I get that. Like, and the thing is, he thinks the way I think, but he's also cognizant of the market, and the market wants a little bit of convenience.
The biggest point to that is that for one model, that's fine. Like, mix to your heart's content. I do that too, right? Mm-hmm. For 50 models, it's kind of a pain in the dick to mix perfect mix.
Perfect, yeah.
Because then if you want to make sure that you don't run out, you have to make like a whole bottle of it, right? And they do sell empty bottles.
He gives you all the tools. That's his way of thinking too, but he's cognizant of the market. He understands.
Yeah, it's just like, if I was like, Kenny, I need you to paint 100 Space Marines, you know, with this one specific shade that you'd have to mix up, like, would it be easier to just have that color in a bottle already, or to make it yourself, right? It's just... It saves a lot of time.
Yeah, that's and I like that. He's like, well, I mean, like, they're gonna pay me money for the same paint, so like I'll make it. You know what I mean? But like warm yellow, it's like I loved it when he made like Necrotite green, right? That was like wave 2.
Yeah,
and he names it. It's bright yellow green, and it's like,
which is.
He tells you what's in it. I love that. It's almost like he's trolling people, like, but it's. You're right. It is convenient to have those colors. And now
people seem very excited about the set. So.
I'm excited as fuck, dude. Like,
like I don't have the set yet myself, so I'll have to.
Like, I am interested in the bright, in the warm. I mean, in the warm yellow.
You're just paying for convenience, which is
that's literally what you're paying for is convenience.
But the good thing about this paint too is he's got that seal in there, so it's gonna last. You know, it's not gonna.
I use paints from his line literally from the first day he sent me samples still.
Yeah, I still have them too.
That are open that I've opened already. Like, I still use them. Like, they last forever.
I still have Wave 1 paints.
Yeah,
it's like pre-Wave 1 because I have Wave 1 in the old bottles before they.
Yeah, the old bottles. Yeah.
I've got stuff that has no labels on it and shit. You know what I mean? Like. It's like, it just doesn't, it's so good. Yeah. Now, the thing is, my biggest thing I love is the naming convention. So like, it's the best paint line already. But like, if you're breaking into the hobby, like, instead of like try to own the name, like Minastorm, blah, 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 or Fenrisian, blah, 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 you know, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, dude is like literally like light blue, warm yellow, Everland Sunset, get the fuck out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, warm gray, neutral gray. Like, I love that. The artistic naming convention of the line.
Well, also, it's just like, it makes sense when you're telling people these names. Like, if I'm like, you know, like, it's blue, right?
Literally, the name of the paint is blue.
You know, it's blue. If I'm like, Nylic Oxide.
Yeah, people
what the fuck does that even mean? Everland Sunset, right? Okay, you're like, oh, sunset. But what color is a sunset? There's like a billion colors in a sunset. Right?
Literally, the green and the blue and the yellow are literally named green, blue, yellow.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking love it. Purple as well. Like, it's... Yeah. So I'm super stoked on it. I think I have a box coming in already. Like, I'm beyond stoked to get my hands on it.
Yeah, this stuff's... it's very easy to use. So check that out. His stuff does sell out. He tries, you know, they'll do restocks and reruns, but
fast now. They've been fast for over a year now, like, because they do in-house manufacturing. So don't be nervous. Like, if you go on there to buy the full expansion set and it's out of stock, go look at the colors.
That
and
too.
You may discover that just some of the colors are out of stock, which is why he's not selling the box anymore until he's restocked it. So oftentimes you can get what you want, and he offers bundle pricing, which equals the cost of the box. Like, it's not like your discount is maintained. So a lot of times you can get that color that's in that expansion, or the 5 that you really, really want now, and other colors you need to restock on and still get the same discount. So like, just don't forget that.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got to talk about. So Liber Demonica is doing a 25% off their whole store-wide sale. They're trying to move to a different location, a different country, from one country to another country. And due to, I guess, the political climate there, a lot going on over in Eastern Europe these days. So, help them out. If you've been waiting to pick something up, maybe scoop it up and give them a hobby hand there. Pay it hobby forward.
The old hobby
they got a lot
handy?
of stuff over there. Yeah, hobby handy. They're asking for hobby handies. Who put that shit on the teleprompter again? He reads exactly what you put in. Atomic Mass Games previewed the new Electra. I guess the only Electra character card today, the other day. But she looks pretty good. She's a 4-threat character. Has a whopping 10 dice attack if you have the hand ninjas within a certain range when she goes to do her Psi Impale attack, I believe it's called. It's pretty chunky for only 5. I think we might see her on the table. She is not a leader, though, which was interesting. So she's going to be a support character or be on some other affiliation. But I could definitely see the new Shadowland Daredevil Electra box when it does hit, which I think it hits ahead of Neck Fury or after Neck Fury. I'd have to check. I believe either March or April. That is going to be probably a pickup for a lot of people, I feel like. So look out for that if you're playing the Marvel Crisis Protocols. And GW announced the last chance to buy for the Chardon Terrain Battle Zone box and also the Fury of the Deep AOS starter box. They may actually be sold out by now. I don't know. But they were going pretty fast and they were sold out already in a couple of geographical locations. So if you missed those and you wanted to lock them in before they go out of stock, you can get them from GW, of course, but there are a lot of retailers that are overstocked on them currently. So chances are you could email some or go into your local game store and get it for an even better deal. And I also noticed today that Hasbro announced they are doing a big live stream on Friday for the, get this, 40th anniversary of G.I. Joe action figures. Well, the 3 3/4 that we're used to, there was 12-inch action figures in the 70s, but what most of us remember as being G.I. Joe,
Yep,
came out 40
remember
years
that?
ago.
Remember when you would accidentally break the waist off the groin? That's unrepairable.
Oh.
It's like a
Rubber band?
Yeah.
No, you can fix it with the rubber band. If you got a new rubber band.
I guess I just was a dumb kid.
You just have to stretch it. A lot of people did mods. They would swap out and make custom figures. And dude, it was wild. Because all you had to do was unscrew the back.
This makes a lot of sense. I was a stupid kid.
I didn't learn about it at first either. G.I. Joe mods were like, they might still be.
I'm like, this makes sense.
So 40 years, kind of crazy. Who knew? So that's basically all the new prods and different things out there that we're keeping track of this week. I did want to talk about, there's a bit, Army Painter came out with their speed paint starter set over the weekend. And there's been a lot of people talking about it online. And there was one thread on Reddit that was basically calling it defective. And it had like all these comments. And somebody did a review on YouTube. I didn't check to see if he just put it out over the weekend or if it was something that had already been out. If it was out before this weekend, then he had access to the stuff ahead of time and he could ask questions. If it was just this weekend, then he just bought it off the shelf and maybe didn't have time to ask questions. I don't know. Either way, I feel like he painted speed paint in a negative light because they're basically calling them defective. And there was a lot of onboarders in the post, like, I don't understand, why would Army Painter put out a crap product, blah, blah, blah. It's not contrast, blah, blah, blah. From what I read and what I was watching the video, and why I took a look at the video too, maybe he wants to chime in here, but I feel like he didn't give him a fair shake. But I feel like the biggest thing that anybody that's listening to this is, let your fucking paints dry. Like, that's how we paint. Let your paint dry before you try to do anything else. If you have to have fans going, put it in front of a fan, use a hairdryer. That speeds things up pretty good. If you're in a super hurry and you're not doing an assembly line, But it goes for anything. Let your fucking paint dry before you try to do anything else. And if you're trying to do a wash or trying to do any acrylic highlights or with speed paint is made to be reactive. That's why it coats so well. That's why it spreads out and it thins. And even when you think it's dry, it's going to take a little bit longer. I personally think it dries faster than contrast using it for as long as I have. But you need to give it dry time. And if you need to speed it up, use a fan, use whatever. And if you're going to do something on top of it, matte coat your minis, bro. Like when you're done painting with one step or one type of paint before you do a wash or something like that, matte coat your fucking minis.
That's good advice.
That to dry.
I'd say that's good advice that a lot of people listening to this podcast may have not done or may have not heard of or considered. But
yeah,
it's always a smart move that once you're done laying down kind of your base work, whatever the project is, whatever the deployment methodology is, it's never a bad idea to give it a nice little coat of a matte varnish and walk away. Because what that does is it gives you like a save point. It creates a invisible layer of probably, depending on what product you're using, acrylic medium. That's pretty much what chemically composes most matte varnishes, especially the ones you're going to run through your airbrush. It's just the medium without the pigment. It is literally an invisible barrier of more medium that creates a save point and protects what you've already done, and you can paint right over that. It's a good practice to be in the habit on, and I suggest it to anyone, speed paint, airbrush, whatever you're doing. You're going to have a lot of good results with that.
Or even, for me, I'll lay down some highlights with the airbrush. I'll matte coat it because I don't know. Maybe I'll come back in an hour. Maybe I'll come back in 3 days. Like, I don't know, because sometimes I just can't get back, So it's always good, even sometimes between steps, to just matte coat your stuff.
I actually do it several times throughout my process usually. I create multiple save points. Like I do my airbrushing, save. Let's say I'm going to do some heavy washing, save. I'm going to do some sick ass edge highlights. Maybe I'll run that all the way to the end and then one final varnish, like 3 right there. Like save points. Light brush pressure, let your paints dry. Think about putting save points in. It's a procedural line of paints made by a company who has pioneered the concept of procedural speed painting. It is a version of paint that is not entirely water-based, meaning that it doesn't dry as fast as pure water does. So also be aware of that procedure. And the product is not defective. It is working as advertised. It's just be cognizant of your brush pressure, your save time, your reactivation times, things like that. Go watch Goobertown Hobbies.
The best video out there.
Review video. Because anybody else who has done less than him in a video hasn't been as thorough as him. The motherfucker is a literal researcher. Like, fucking scientist. He deployed a researcher's, level of control and variable in a way that I was shocked by. Because I got some of those paints. I was like, maybe I'll do a little review video. I was thinking I'll paint a model, talk about the model I paint. My man puts out 60 models and does metallic undercoats, zenithal undercoats, just straight raw white undercoats. I mean, he's like, I'm going to do it raw here. I'm going to do it 50% thin here, 25% thin here. He literally gives you controls and variables on every single option and lets you see what they do. Long before he even painted a guy. I'm like, if you were not doing it like that, it is not a fully developed review. That is the most intense review I've ever fucking seen on the internet.
It was really good.
For paints.
Yeah, I messaged him after I watched it. I was like, yeah.
And he straight up tells you in the beginning, he's like, they sent me this shit for free, but they don't going to say what I want. And he even says hey, I like some fucking Army Painter stuff. And he shows little graphics of things he likes. I don't like others. He shows graphics of the ones he hates. He's like, and it's some I don't give a fuck about. And he shows other stuff. He's like, I don't like all their stuff. I like some of their stuff. So we'll see if I like this shit.
I kind of definitely agree with that statement from Army Painter.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have some good products. I've been I mean, I was one of the people they sent out like beta test stuff for the speed paints, and same with Rob. I think one of the reasons that Rob is kind of fired up about this video is because, like, if you look at it for any length of time, it becomes really clear this dude is obviously making this video in bad faith. A lot of it's like he's kind of being a bad actor about the whole situation, and that's why it's like frustrating, because people are taking his opinion based on like his number of videos and number of subscribers on YouTube as fact, when he's basically just doing this for the views, and he's deliberately misinterpreting how to use this paint, and he's deliberately doing things to enforce his narrative, which is the paint is like bad and it reactivates if you paint on top of it and like all this stuff. But it's like, well, dude, if you're adding like a bunch of drying retardant to your paints and then only waiting a handful of minutes after they're dry to the touch, like that paint isn't cured because you've added this medium to it. And then it's clear, like you watch this video, this dude is taking a brush with brush on varnish and just like literally hitting it so hard with his paintbrush, he's scrubbing the paint off of it. And he's like, look at this. It's terrible. It's like reactivating with the brush on varnish. And I was like, okay, guy, like nothing you're saying is genuine whatsoever.
No, makes sense. The only reason I even made a contrast video was for the clicks. Like, I get it. Like,
the problem is it spawned like a whole bunch of, people that don't know any better.
Yeah. So listen to this podcast.
All over the Twitters.
Watch
all over
Goober
the
Town's review videos. The only review video that exists, in my opinion. Because all other review videos do not bring that degree of heat when it comes to controls and variables. Like, he actually does like a researcher, like, degree of scientific method. Like that is the most objectively reviewed, thorough job I've ever seen. Watch that, make an informed decision, buy the paints, or don't.
Drop the mic. So yeah, that's all I got. But there are some rules out there, I hear.
Any new patrons before we move on? I saw we're getting close. I was on our Patreon page the other day.
Rob didn't remind me to look.
Rob didn't remind you to look.
Yeah.
We do have some.
We're like in the 90s when I looked.
Yeah, we have 92, so we're only 8. We're only 8 away. Oh man, there's some good ones on here. You got to read these.
Fuck yes. 8 more, and maybe Patreon will let us do our fucking annuals.
I also found some of the old dice bags. Well, not old. They're dope looking. And I think we got a couple of the coffee mugs left.
Ooh.
That we could offer to patrons.
There's some
It's a shame to purchase once we hit 100. That's a shameless, like, thank you opportunity. I don't know.
Yes, we got a handful of patrons. Make sure where our list is at. Yeah, okay. So we got Battleborn Hobbies, Viking Beard.
Yeah.
Roger. Russ Heidler. And Rottweiler. Thank you. Thanks for coming over to the Patreon, guys.
Thanks for having dope names.
Hilarious.
Roger. Sorry, Roger.
Yeah,
he's like monolithic, dude. He's like Cher. Just has one name.
It's like, yep.
He's
like,
he's the Roger.
Balling out of control. All right. Well, shout out to our patrons. We're 8 away. If you're listening to this, thinking about supporting us, just know that we're about to deplete all of our beer money at Cherokee Open, and we don't have Imperious Seth giving us money this week, so everything helps.
That's it. We're broken.
Rob is about to drink us out of house and home.
Rob is mostly not an alcoholic.
So, how about them Eldars?
They're looking good, I think.
They are looking good, People are excited, and I am excited for the Eldar community. Like, because as much as I have Eldar PTSD for the last 20 years, I do acknowledge that they have a range of miniatures that is in need of updating, and that updating has been occurring. So that is very exciting for the Eldar people. I've got people coming out of the woodwork, like Arthur is talking about getting back into 40K.
Oh my gosh.
How wild is that?
Right? Because Eldar. Like, he's like, it's exciting. It's just like Tau. Like, Tau getting all these powerful rules is exciting for the Tau community, because they've had their models haven't been in as dire need of updating. But Eldar, Eldars have had the rules, but the bad models. And so this is sick. And so, things like this Avatar and these aspects, and these, I love the Dark Reapers. I love Mog and Raw. Like, I love all this shit. But
yeah, they look fresh. Something
I think is really cool to talk about is that fucking Wraithknight. That was an incredible model when it hit the table.
Just as like a big stompy war robot in the 40K universe. Such a cool model when that dropped. Like, it was so fire. Unfortunately, that model was
banished to the Shadow Realm after 7th edition.
Busted for like 3 years straight.
It's been on an apology tour.
Yep.
And it's relegated to like knights, right? Like, if you think knights are as powerful, like, how knights were powerful, like this was kind of that knight world, right? We were getting these big robot people, right? Like, he was like on par with that power level. And then now knights are just not at that same power level they used to be. On an individual basis, their stats are lacking. Now, obviously, some people crush it, like our boy Mohawk Minis crushes it with Knight. He's the best Knight player in the world right now, right? Crushes it, right? But that doesn't change the fact that individually the stats are lacking. And that's kind of what happened for our Wraithknight. Now, we have a blurry-ass picture of the data sheet, but also some crisp-ass pictures of war gear and abilities and special rules.
Yeah, we can fill in it.
I did some enhancing in Photoshop and was able to forensically cross-reference with some of these sharper images and determine some things about this Wraithknight. And he looks pretty powerful. So let's break him down and decide if he's going to be back to the glory days.
Okay.
So let's... I saw you wrote an article about him. So what is it, 22 wounds, Rob?
He is he's a bit of a chonker. Let me pull it up. Oh, that's Fire Prism. That's Electro. We're getting there. There's the Wraithknight. Okay. Yep, 22 wounds, 5 attacks. Toughness is strength 8. It looks like, I think it's weapon skill, ballistic skill 3, save 3+. But from what we were able to tell, it looks like he's still got his 4 up. He does have that new mechanic where he subtract 1 from the damage to a minimum of 1.
Yeah, he's got the new big guy shit, right? -1 damage.
It's a 5 up invul.
No, he comes with enhanced agility.
Oh,
right?
I see. Okay,
5 up invul. And we were able to determine he has a scatter shield still, and you can barely make it out, but it absolutely says the invulnerable save is increased to that 4+.
But I think it's his weapons got better too, because now he has a sweep attack.
Yeah. The guns are better.
Oh yeah.
Looks like a lot of the Eldar big guns are going to be pretty spicy.
We'll talk about another one in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, right at the gate. I mean, did you guys look at that? So he's 22 wounds, -1 damage, 4 up invulnerable if you have a scatter shield, which it looks like you would always have a scatter shield. So 22 wounds, toughness 8, 12-inch move, -1 damage, 4 invulnerable. That's pretty fucking strong.
Yep.
Okay. Now he has no other damage mitigator. It looks like no feel no pains.
Yeah, outside of a stratagem, or maybe if there's like a craft world or something, maybe he can benefit from some kind of extra defense. But seems like with these newer dexes, the big stuff is not getting access to those bespoke rules, like the Storm Surge. Can't really benefit from a lot of the stuff that the rest of the Tau units can. But just as like a toughness 8 model with like, knight stats and a 4-up invul save.
I mean, he is a knight. Thank you for saying that. He's a fucking knight. Okay. He's at that 22 wound mark, right? Bertarion's 18 wounds. Mm-hmm. So he's in that knight range like he was initially. And he's got the stats that if a knight had, different story. If a knight had a literal just 5-up invulnerable, period.
Yeah.
Stock. Not just from shooting, just stock. Right? And Rota Iron Shields just, turn it into a 4. Stock, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, or something else. Who knows? Maybe I feel like Rota Iron Shields is going to do something else. But even if the invulnerable was just an actual invulnerable save and not just a shooting one, that'd be a big difference.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
But the fact that this guy's can have a 4, I think imagine if Knights had a 4 invulnerable.
I do. I played Double Lord of Skulls this entire year. I know exactly what that's like.
You know what I'm saying?
Like all of last year, that was what I was playing.
They're just suddenly way more playable, man. Like, dude is 22 wounds. Toughness 8, can move 12, 4-up invulnerable, and he has some meaningful firepower. Mm-hmm. Like, that is huge. He is 23 power level, which we can extrapolate as roughly 450 points.
I think that's a bit high. I don't think he's going to be that much personally, but
I mean, that's kind of in line with if a knight had a 4-up invulnerable, suddenly their points start to make sense.
I imagine that's going to be like the more expensive option. I would be surprised if he's under 350 with these pieces of war gear. Like maybe if you kit him out where he's only got guns, like only long range, and he doesn't have his sword or he doesn't have that invul save, maybe that's the cheaper option. But I imagine if he's got that shield, and there's no restrictions on whether or not he has to take the sword with it, we could just have like a big old gun and a shield and the shoulder weapons. Like that shield's probably going to be a good chunk of war gear points cost.
Yeah, if you can take the scatter shield, the sun cannon, and then 2 shoulder mounted guns, I mean, this guy this guy fucks. Right.
Then he might be 450 points.
Like the sun cannon is 2d6 shots, strength 8 and 3 flat.
I think also what rules he's going to be able to benefit from are going to factor into his point cost.
True.
So, I mean, when people are listening to this, they might be like, well, actually, because the codex is out, we just don't have it yet. It's all over the internet, spread out in a billion different articles and different things like that. So once the codex actually gets in our hands, we'll talk more in detail about all this stuff. But just on the face of his data sheet, which is what we have, looks like a really strong unit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 2 star cannons, 2 shuriken cannons, 2 shrieker cannons. Like he can have all sorts of cannons and a sun cannon and a 4-up invulnerable. I mean, that dude can just blast that ass. Yeah,
it seems like he's got a good enough defense where he can hold up to a lot of the stuff. I mean, like a railgun will still kill him, but I mean, what doesn't? Just basic things like salvo launcher jet bikes from the Custodes are really popular right now, right? So even though he's got -1 wound, that like D3 plus 2 is still a good chunk of damage depending on what you roll. But now he's going to have a 4-up invul save to try to mitigate some of those rockets.
Mm-hmm. And I like the shooty version that can hop around, that can bounce around and do things and just support the battlefield in powerful ways. Mm-hmm. Like, and also with his sword, he fucks really hard too. So it's like, I'm really anxious to see the points. I know people know the points. We just don't. But I think he might make a comeback without power, like, because he's also like a sick model.
Yeah, there's a lot of people with 1 or 2 or possibly even 3 of these models in their collection for the Eldar armies. They just haven't been able to put on the table in almost 4 years.
Yeah,
he's been a tad bit expensive.
Man, He's been just not that tight, and now he's looking tight. So, shout out to the fucking Eldar players out there who've got a fucking Wraith Knight, just collecting dust in a shelf, just being sad. Maybe you get to play him again. And who knows what kind of stratagems. Maybe he gets a stratagem. I don't know. He gets a craft world buff.
I mean, especially if it's allowed to be put in the webway, where you can like walk out of that big.
Well, I mean, you can put the Avatar in there, so I don't see why you wouldn't be able to put him in there.
Well, I guess maybe
unless he's Lord of War. That's the thing. I don't know. That's hard to say.
Thumbs up for this model. Thumbs up for these rules. Looks powerful as fuck.
I mean, Eldar is going to come out swinging, dude. Like, I'm sure a lot of people listening have seen some of their other stuff. They've seen some of the other data sheets, like what the Harlequins are going to do, what the Inari are going to do. Saw Karandras' data sheet the other day, and he looks really solid. Like, nothing about what I saw made me upset, though, which is kind of a good sign, right? It's like, yeah, he can only take 3 wounds a phase. He's only got 6 wounds, and he's still a toughness 4. Okay. Like, he's got his chain sword, and he can do a sweep attack with it. It's a fair amount of attacks. He's got his power claw. It's still just, a 2 damage, strength 8 power claw. Cool. And then he's got his little scorpion thing, which procs mortal wounds. Pretty standard stuff. Like, nothing he does is like OP. Nothing he does is like gotcha. Like, just a really solid, fair character.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like a new level of normal almost, with the way all these things act and behave. It's like, oh, but it does this and it does that. I'm like, yeah, but so does all the other stuff in these books, I guess, right now. So like,
They're not 95, 98 point broadsides.
Broadsides are a problem.
Obliterators are 95 points each, right?
I feel like one of those is better than the other.
Obliterators don't have railguns.
So I'm saying, the thing is, they also don't have 8 wounds.
They should learn how to make those, dude.
Yeah.
Do you think they could?
They don't have 8 wounds. And so I'm expecting in the Chaos Codex, Obliterators to be like broadsides.
Do you think
they're already in a outdated codex, 4 wounds, 95 points each with a point drop, and they shoot 6 shots each. And it's been leaked that they're going to have 3 weapon profiles, not this random generating. So they're going back to an older version of the Obliterators where you just picked a profile. So I guarantee it's going to be like a shoot, like just the 3 major profiles, like anti-infantry, anti-tank, and like mid-range, right? I think they're going to be 8 wound fucking behemoths, like broadsides. And so that's what I like. When I see something like the broadsides, it makes me excited because I know they're going to get fucking nerfed, but I know my Obliterator is going to be sick.
Well,
but the Eldar is kind of the opposite. I see the Eldar and I'm like, this is just tight shit. Like a lot of face value abilities, like really cool models, really cool units, really cool abilities, like, but nothing like insane. Just like, so speaking of insane, what about this Fire Prism, Rob? I know you want to talk about that.
I don't know if I was the one that want to talk about it, but
you were literally the only person who brought it up on this
really
podcast before me just now.
Okay. Well, we saw the preview from GW for the Prism Cannon, which, at face value, it's got its 2 modes, 3d3 shots, strength 6, -2, 2 damage, or the heavy 2, strength 14, -5, 3d3 focused lance, which, it's good. But then when they do the linked fire thing, that's when it gets a little silly, because you can make 2 additional attacks with it, and then invulnerable saves can't be taken against any attacks made by the model with that weapon.
So it becomes that rail cannon situation again.
Right, for 2 CP though.
But there is a situation. It has to do a condition.
Yeah, I mean, you got to pay for it. You have to select 1 or 2 other friendly fire prisms within 12. Visible to the fire prism you're targeting with. And then each time the first fire prism you select it shoots, it can make 2 attacks, and the invulnerable saves can be taken.
It's a classic fucking Eldar rule.
Yeah, it's Eldar trickery, but 4 shots with that strength 14 3d3 damage gun. I mean,
3d3 damage, huh?
Right.
It's kind of the same thing as the railguns, man. Like, you see that on the table, avoid it.
Right.
It's not impossible to to stay away from it forever, right? Like eventually you're going to have to do something and you'll be able to see some of your stuff, but you can play around it, right? And you have to spend a stratagem on it, right? So,
and you have to have more than one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like,
and it's a rule that we know about, man. Like, it's not like
it's definitely not a gotcha. Like, hey, what's that do? Is that the thing? Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, if I go up against this new Eldar and they have 2 fire prisms, like, it's the first thing I'm trying to get an angle on with my Dawn Eagle jet bikes. Like, get that off the table.
What about that Wraithknight marching up the board? What are you gonna do about him?
I get an invul save against that dude.
Yeah,
that's true.
Take my chances.
Yeah, I roll some dice, son. That's the game.
I mean, that fire prism shoots at a unit of 3 bikes. That's dead 3 bikes, and nothing I can do about it. Like, I gotta take them out.
Gotta zoom.
Yeah, no, I like this. I mean, honestly, I like that rule a lot, and it doesn't even seem like these winning tau armies are even really relying on the backs of these super cannons that take your marbles away.
Not really.
Like, that's not even like
the long strike. Hammerhead isn't that popular. Like, you see it, but it's not like 2 units of maxed out broadsides popular.
That's a problem.
Yeah. That's
please, to the Chaos Gods, make Obliterators 8 wounds.
I don't think we're that lucky. I think what they're going to do is keep them the same and make them cheaper.
To the Dark Gods, I will also take that.
We'll also accept the following.
Make them 45 points each. I shall be happy.
I think a lot of people would be happy at that point.
Yeah. I mean, all this makes me excited for the Chaos drop. How exciting all these rules are, and like this crescendo, like, of just ballerness. Chaos is going to fuck.
Well, we got to get through Tyranids first, but then it's probably Chaos. They didn't say it was, but they did not say it was.
It better be Chaos. I will literally throw a fit. Full on temper tantrum.
I'm already just waiting for it to happen where they're going to be like, Chaos Space Marines. And World Eaters ain't in there. You're like, okay, where's my World Eater book? And they're like,
got him.
Like it's September. Like, okay.
Fucking kill myself.
He's already waiting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely what's going to happen.
That would be.
I mean, that's content driven, man. Like, they're not going to. The entire Eldar base is going to buy this Eldar stuff, right? Like, if you're an Eldar fan. So you don't need to drop Avatar Wave 1. You already got us. You already hooked us with it. Like, so then that's the next wave. That's the next content drip. Same thing's going to happen with this, especially if Angron makes his appearance, right? Which is like something that's on the level of Plastic Thunderhawk and Plastic Sisters at this point. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I mean, if they do it without any type of info drop that goes along with it, I think that's what's going to make people real upset, because World Eaters is a very, very popular Chaos Space Marine faction and has been since forever. It always has been. So if they come out with this Chaos book and there's just like, hey, where's my World Eaters? And they're just like, wouldn't you to know? Wait, we'll check Warcom in the coming months. People are going to get real fucking mad.
So I'll just let you know, maybe little secret, maybe not little secret, that some people might have figured out. The rumors, there's a lot of rumors out there for Chaos Space Marines, and there's one kind of like compilation list. That list basically just synced up with the Kill Team unit that was shown, like literally word for word, war gear, everything. So chances are that list is correct, and noticeably absent from the Legion rules section was World Eaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
That's what we're referring to. We know World Eaters is not in the book. So what we're saying is when there's World Eaters, when you drop the Chaos Codex, if you just pretend that
I
you
see,
didn't.
I see. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You better give us info because that
There better be an article that's like, and for all you World Eater fans,
stand by.
Yeah, like
You won't be disappointed this September.
ugh. Like they better drop. It's got to be tantalized. Like it's got to be like they have to show a picture of like new corn berserkers.
They better show a picture of a gigantic demon blacked out, and you're like September. Then suddenly you'd be like, okay, oh wait,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, you have appeased me.
I mean, I would rather it be like the month after because I mean, like my memory is a little hazy, but correct me if I'm wrong. Like when they released the supplement books for Codex Space Marines, like
It was one a month, dog.
Yeah, it was like right in a row right after.
Yeah.
That's when it was like one a month. Oh my god, no. Thing is, like, yeah, World Eater hype and Angron speculation is Plastic Thunderhawk, Plastic Sisters level. Like, don't fuck it up, GW. Like, these people have been ride or die for decades. Like, decades.
Literally have a fucking tattoo of Karn the Betrayer on my arm. Like,
decades, son. Let's do this thing, you know?
Shit is real.
This isn't a game.
Fuck what you heard.
You call it Games Workshop, but we don't play games here anymore, man. Like we need Angron and or New World, new Berserkers, don't need a new Carbichair. Love the Carbichair update.
yeah, he's fine.
He's pretty good.
He's basically a brand new model. Like he holds up perfectly.
He's dope. Like, fuck, should be so hype. I mean, it's shaping up, but that's what I'm saying is these releases, like I'm very impressed with Eldar, the sculpts, the new models. I'm so happy they're finally addressing these concerns. I love these exciting rules. I love that we're seeing rules, show up more and more, like new rules interactions, like, the damage gate, that we're seeing on like Phoenix Lores and things like that. It was on Gazgo, first premiere Gazgo. I like this Tau stratagem to turn the damage of something to 1. I think that's going to become a new rules interaction, just like Transhuman did, which debuted many years ago. So like, I like that these are becoming known, like, variables to plan around and play the game around. Like also the removal of an invulnerable save. I love that. Like, so I like that in a world where where some of my favorite models have a maximum wound threshold that you could do to me, or maybe I have a stratagem to make it so you have to win 4s. Maybe I have a stratagem where I can take all the damage of one weapon shooting me to 1. I like that world. I like having to use my resources to fight in that OP world. So that makes me very hopeful for Chaos coming out at the, kind of toward the end of the cycle. Like Chaos has had the problem of being like one of the first ones in the cycle for so long. Mm-hmm. So we're hype for like a week.
And then new edition.
Huh.
I don't know. I feel like we're going to stay with this edition for a little while because they're doing seasons now.
It is possible. It is possible.
The only reason the only reason they wouldn't is for money. Like obviously you get more money every time you just like make an excuse to reprint stuff.
Yeah, but the core rules are free.
Right.
So,
but they don't. But the thing is, we finally have a game where like you don't have to if you don't want to. You could live in this architecture of a game for a long time with seasons, updates, just like every other game, right? So we actually have the architecture to support fucking very long-lived edition if they choose.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But, getting dick hard to World Eaters, even though I was supposed to be talking about a fucking Wraithknight. It's just my life.
They're basically the same thing. They're both game.
I mean, it's true that, the Bloody Hand God. I mean, he is the god of murder, dude. Like, this dude is so metal. Like, the dude.
Does he have
really
a great brass throne made of skulls?
I think who knows? In that lava pit, he fucking takes big baths in. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, he's got a lava hot tub. Not nearly as cool as a giant throne of skulls.
I mean,
maybe that's it.
I know. I mean, like I know you're saying that, like, but like, be objective about it. Like, chilling in a like molten hot tub is metal AF. It's probably as metal as having a fucking throne of skulls. They literally are roommates, dude.
Throne implies he's the king.
Sure, fine. He's the king. But the king likes to chill in hot tubs too sometimes, so he has to go over to his next door neighbor, Avatar, fucking, and chill in his hot tub.
Yeah.
With all the Eldar babes.
How did this happen?
They're buddies. They're fucking buddies. I know it.
This is, I don't think any of this is canon.
Man, nothing is canon.
We reserve the right to retcon our
40K has been fluid since the inception.
The fact.
Can somebody go on a wiki page and make that canon for me?
I'm sure. How quick will it get changed back, though, is the problem.
Like, I just want, like, you know, Korn, like, knocking on his neighbor's door for a cup of sugar. And then he opens the door and he sees the Avatar chilling in his molten hot tub with Eldar babes, and he's like,
maybe that's what they do in like the realm of the gods. Is like it's like a side dimension, kind of like Blood Bowl. Maybe like Korn and Kane like to hang out on the weekends and watch Blood Bowl.
that would be hilarious. Someone make a canon for us.
We'll start a campaign for this. It's happening.
All right, well, I feel like we talked about the things we said we were going to talk about.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
I'll pick up Wyatt from the airport tomorrow. And of course, this is our normal scheduled time for a podcast. Nothing to see here. So anyways, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to all the new Patreons. Hopefully we pick up at least 8 more in the next 2 weeks while we're off the air, heading into March and the big old Adepticon. It's going to be good times. So head on over to thelongwar.net for exclusive content and early access videos. Become a veteran of the Long War today.